Well, the flat season began at Naas, and it is at Naas on November the 7th that it will conclude. And ahead of the season finale, I've caught up with Seamie Heffernan. Seamie spoke to Gavin Ryan. He was probably one of the jockeys who benefited from the lockdown because he got injured just before it. Were you another of the jockeys that benefited because it meant that the Irish riders basically were needed more in the top races than they might in other years?
Definitely, yeah. I definitely benefit. I ride for a very powerful stable and they use the best available. So listen, I've been at the table with the best, but I haven't been the number one, but it did benefit me this year with the restrictions.
Had you any idea that it might work out as well as it did for you with the amount of top-class winners you rode?
We have a serious team of horses and they're all prepared equally for the big day. I've been very lucky. I've been riding Group 1 winners for a long time. So I'm always hoping that I'll ride a couple more than I think, but this year with the Guineas and the Guineas, I had some very good rides to look after for.
So talk to me about Peaceful then. That was earlier on in the campaign and very straightforward really winning the Guineas.
Yeah, she was working well. She was uncomplicated. The ground was nice and I fancied her strongly.
And Santiago, how special was that winning the Irish Derby again? And it was an unusual Irish Derby in that there were lots of runners in the race from different stables, and he delivered.
Yeah, it was great that everybody had a horse and they wanted to turn up and take on and fill their slot. The Irish Derby for me anyway it's just under the Arc, and the Arc is the one I would really love to win. But it was a choice I had to make, and the horse came up trumps. We got a heavy shower during the race. My horse travelled everywhere on the bridle, got there and won. It was brilliant.
The Irish Derby means a lot to you.
The Irish Derby means a lot. It's because it's the one when I was young lad I went to the Curragh for the Derby, and you watched the jockey going out in the shiny boots, and you thought I'd love to be there. So it's special, and that was my fourth one. So I've been lucky. Magical
has been extraordinary, and you know, she's around the same time as Enable, obviously. But this year really was her year where she just thrived, and you had a great part in that. Yeah, there's a couple of horses that stand out in my career that were absolute champions. I mean, Enable is a freak, and Magical was following her around. And only for Enable, Magical would have been the best I've ever seen. So we're not going to get the chance to take on Enable again, but Magical is a super ride, and I couldn't actually believe it when Aidan told me I was riding in the Champion Stakes. It's still hard actually to take it in. Yeah, before the kick was Champion Stakes, the Tattersalls Gold Cup as well, which was very straightforward.
I missed the riding her through a suspension, trying too hard in France, but I steered her up in the Pretty Polly and she bolted up.
Yeah, and just really straightforward ride. Great will to win.
I know her very well from riding her work, and yeah, she's straightforward. You can land her up there, put her into the battle, and she will fight.
But you're 48 now, and I wouldn't say there's anyone who says you're riding worse than you ever were. In fact, people might say you're riding better than ever. You're always well known with your 2-year-olds, the way you educate them. But this year, I mean, were there many bad days or many bad rides?
Listen, I give plenty of horses what I would call bad rides, but I'm holding me on, and I like to know that my feedback is good. I like to put owners in a good humour when I jump down. If it doesn't happen today, the next day, the day after. I mean, we're in sport, and if you can enjoy it and make a few quid and break even, that's what it's all about. I really enjoy what I do, and you know, sometimes you just have to bite your tongue and wonder why wasn't I riding that one, or why wasn't I riding that one. But I've actually gone out into the car park and I've had farmers walk up to me and say you should be riding everything. So that just gives you that edge, and you can turn away and smile.
What have you done to be as fresh as you are and as fit as you are at 48? Just living a good life?
I can't answer it, but I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah, no, does it get harder in your 40s, or do you get more experience and you expect things to happen maybe otherwise?
For me, experience is key. Level head, you'll have plenty of lads that are blowing their tops, but I'm sure most lads make mistakes through not thinking properly and maybe thinking a little bit more about things. Yeah, that's it.
When you look at the likes of High Definition, maybe even Bolshoi Ballet, who ran here, there's always something coming up, and next year there could be that nice horse again that could maybe, who knows, actually give you that arc victory that you look for.
It probably boils down to a lot with pedigrees, and people who are breeding pedigrees and really passionate about it want to back it up with money, so they don't cut any corners. And if you're not cutting corners and you have pedigrees, you have a serious chance of the cream coming out sometime.
Did you enjoy this year more than any other year?
I used to get frustrated and watch videos and look back at things, but now I think, why?
Yeah.
Just think of the next day. It's not that I don't take it serious anymore, but I definitely enjoy it more as you get older. And you appreciate every winner. I suppose that comes with age.
I remember you rode Order of Australia to win at Dundalk, and you did a memorable interview afterwards where you spoke about Pat Smallin, and that was obviously the big sore point of the year for Irish racing, that they lost that legend.
Definitely, yeah. I knew Pat from a very young age, and he was very competitive, very lucky. Dermot Wells spotted his talent, and they complemented each other. But both of them had each other right up to the, you have to keep doing your job for me to be successful. And, both of them played that game. Each had others right up. And he was a good guy, very, very competitive now.
Yeah.
But he's going to be known as a legend.
And it makes you appreciate as well what you have, not only in racing but in life.
Yeah, all you have to do when you think you're having a tough day or a bad day is just look around. There's a lot of people going a lot worse. This is a really, really tough time we're going through, but just looking out there, a beautiful new weigh room, and it's beautiful inside. So everything in the world is changing, so you got to change, you got to enjoy it, and if you're involved with horses, support it and be happy.
And you'll be back next year. And the year after, and the year after.
It sounds good, but listen, you never really know what opportunities are around the corner. So if there's an opportunity pops up, you just have to have a look at it and see, does it suit you. I'm not going to be riding for forever, but at the moment I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I haven't had to look at too many races and say, God, look at the state here. So I'm happy enough.